Hey, what's going on? I'm Kemarr Brooks, and welcome to Entrepreneurs of Detroit. On this show, you'll get the inside track on what it takes to be a successful business owner. We're going to be interviewing with Todd Michael. He's the owner of Facetts Design Studio and Fine Jewelry. Keep in mind, we'll be down at Stella's coffee shop, checking in with them, trying to see what it takes to run the coffee industry. Keep it locked right here, Detroit, and let's get busy. I'm standing here with Todd Michael inside of Facetts Jewelry of Todd Michael. Did I say that right? I think I got it wrong. Nevertheless, we're having a good interview, a good time. We've been talking about engagement rings, and he's trying to help me pick out something for my lovely lady, Nadine. Hey, boo. But nevertheless, Todd, tell me, how did you get started in this in the jewelry business?
Well, much like you were talking or giving a shout out to Nadine there, many years ago, I was in the fur business and leather. I moved down from a farm way up north, so this was all new to me. And I came down here kind of poor and, wide-eyed and learning and everything like that. And I went in with the lady that I was dating into a jewelry store in Dearborn. And as we're looking around through the showcases, kind of like what you're doing now, and you're saying, oh, the most expensive ring? And I said, no, the second. Well, she managed to pick out the most expensive ring in the store. Uh-oh. It was gorgeous. It had a round diamond in the center, and it had two little rubies on either side that were trillion-shaped. And not knowing, what the expenses were and anything like that, I kind of said, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's take a look at it. And she put it on and everything like that. And the lady says, that one's just around $19,000. And this is like 27 years ago. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, $19,000. I think my dad paid $15,000 for our house when we moved into it. So $19,000 for a ring just seemed ridiculous. And especially, working the kind of job that I did. So it was something that kind of intrigued me, that something so small had so much value. So I ended up looking around, and I found a guy in Rochester that taught jewelry classes.
Okay.
And because I was working a full-time job, I actually got a hold of him, and I would meet him for lunch every week, and we'd talk about different gemstones, and we'd carve a ring out of wax, and he'd show me how to do it, and I'd go home and play with it for a little bit, and I'd bring it back to him the next week, buy him lunch. He'd tell me what I did right or what I did wrong, and push came to shove over the years that the store that I actually went and looked at that ring in, I went back and interviewed and got a job with them and worked for them.
No way.
Yeah, seriously. It's too funny. I mean, you can't plan it any better than that. And I worked for them for 3 years. And then after that, opportunity struck, and I ended up buying the store here from a reputable chain store, like local one, and they're in Wyandotte, Monroe, and somewhere else, like Tecumseh, and in Detroit. And they were just phasing out this location, and I bought it with a partner in 1990.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great story. It's probably one of the best stories I've heard. But you didn't say, did you manage to get the $19,000 ring?
No. Thank goodness she broke up with me before I had to afford that.
The agony, the pain.
Well, it's better to be afterwards than before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd, I got a question from Facebook. Someone named Julianne wanted to know, what's the origins of your diamonds and if they have exclusive pieces? I think you answered the exclusive pieces part, but
as far as exclusive designs for the store, definitely. Over the years, I have actually created designs and won awards for my own designs. There's a few pieces, not much diamond, for colored stones, because that's what I could afford to do in the categories that I was in. But I've won awards for jewelry design here in Michigan.
Wow, that's what's up.
And then to go, the next part of that question was, where did the diamonds come from? Most diamonds come from Africa.
Okay.
There is always some concern about blood diamonds or conflict diamonds. There are different origins that can be documented that you can say, I want to make sure that I buy a diamond for Nadine that's not from Africa. What can I do to guarantee that? If you're open to a lot of ideas, I could say, let's go look at a cognac colored diamond or a yellow diamond, because typically, probably with over 95% guarantee, those are going to come from Australia, because that is typical of that particular area. There is a mine that happens during the winter time in Canada underneath the polar pack, ice road truckers. They're actually shipping mining equipment into this diamond mine that happens. And you get a certificate with the stone that says, this is when it was mined, this is how much it weighed, this is who cut it, this is when it was cut. You get like a little birth certificate that you do when you have a baby the same way, so you know that that stone came from somewhere else.
Okay.
Diamonds come from Russia. There's not as much coming out of that area yet, but you can still get material that comes out of those areas. But if you want to make sure that your stone is not coming from there, you can even go down to Tennessee and mine your own stone if you want. It might not be very big, but you would know that it's not coming from somewhere else.
All right, this may be a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because that's what I do. I barbecue. It's the summertime. And I have charcoals.
Yes.
Now, I always heard that diamonds come from charcoals. And if diamonds come from charcoals, can I just like keep the bag and put it under some type of gamma ray light or something and make me some diamonds?
Well, I think...
Don't wait before you answer. Just be easy on me because that'll be a great way to make some extra money on the side.
Well, I'm thinking what you could do is maybe you could do that for Nadine, like Fred Flintstone with a big charcoal briquette on it or something like that.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, you try that one. Carbon, not necessarily a charcoal briquette.
Okay.
But carbon, under extreme pressure and extreme heat, crystallizes to clear. So will your charcoal briquette, flaming it up with a lot of charcoal lighter fluid in the backyard and crunching it in a vise?
It's not going to work. Even if I like sit it under the mattress for 3 years, it still wouldn't work.
Well, nobody knows for sure how long it takes for a stone to do that, but I'm not sure Nadine's going to wait that long.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to wait that long either. So what are some of the things that stresses you out being an entrepreneur and owning your own business?
Wow, that's actually a good question. I would have to say it's probably just the economics of the city at this particular point. Being here as long as we have, we've seen it ramp up a couple of times and we've seen it ramp down a couple of times. But the beauty of being an entrepreneur is the fact that you're not waiting for the world to come back to you more times than not. So in this particular instance, being an entrepreneur, being in Detroit, being in manufacturing or whatever you kind of want to say your shtick is going to be, as things started to downturn, we started looking into other things. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't sit back and say, we're just going to wait for somebody else to come in and I'm going to have an opportunity to sell them something. I'm going out and I'm looking into technology and I'm learning as much as what I possibly can. It's funny as younger people like yourself come in and they say, oh, I want to send something to you. Do you have an email address? I'm like, who doesn't have an email address?
I think I asked you that when I met you. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I sit there and think, you don't have for Snapper? Like, who doesn't have? But keeping up on technology and doing three-dimensional milling and three-dimensional designs and then also learning that the market is demanding other products in other things that will be for the right customer at the right time. Not everybody that's getting engaged now is looking for a big diamond. It's definitely for some people, but not everybody like that. It's colored stones are fine. Pearls, I don't know why, are fine. I love pearls to death, but they're not very strong. They're not going to hold up forever. But, some people's relationships only last that long, so I guess maybe that works out well for them.
That's funny, Todd. We'll be right back after we pay some bills. And after we pay some bills, can somebody out there please help me pay mine? We'll be right back with more Entrepreneurs of Detroit.
Hi, I'm Carmen. Welcome to Joy Shoes, where we are more than just shoes.
Whether it's high heels, wedges, pumps, or just a really nice dress, we cater to the needs of fashionable, fun-loving, budget-conscious ladies. We are conveniently located at 29538 Northwestern Highway in Southfield near 12 Mile. Call 248-356-SHOE. Ask about our First Lady special.
So Todd, you were talking about technology and how it plays a role in the jewelry industry. Explain that a little more.
It's hard to believe. Even over the years, people think that jewelry is something as simple as you walk into a store and you pick up a ring and you say, "Oh, Nadine needs a size 7." "Oh, yes, sir. Let me pull the size 7 out of the drawer," because they have all the finger sizes. That's kind of the thought process behind it, but nobody realizes it's true, because most of your chain stores, or 90% of your stores, are linked together in some way or another, so they have an ability to have a lot more inventory than a store like ourselves that custom makes what a customer is looking for. And that's the advantage of technology. When a customer walks in the door, and this particular ring that we were looking at, if she came in and she said, "Oh, I really like that," and you pick it out and you say, "I really like that, but 12 is too much for what I really want to spend.
Right.
Can I do something for 5 or 6? And likewise, can I do something for 30 or 40? This has to be scalable. And with technology the way that it is, as we all know, you can grab a picture in Photoshop or in any program, grab a little corner of the thing, drag it down to the right, it makes the picture bigger.
True.
Technology basically works the same way in jewelry. If you want to scale something larger, it's pretty similar to that type of an idea with 3D rendering programs to be able to scale a piece larger or smaller, add a few more stones, mirror something to make a wedding band that matches it, or take the stone out completely and make a men's ring that matches it. So that's how technology works.
Hold up. I got another Facebook question. This one right here is from Renee Keikos. I think I'm saying her name right. She wants to know, what are the different qualities of gold, like 10 karat, 14 karat, 17 karat, and if it, I don't know how high it goes, because I've only had 10 karat gold.
That's a good question. The different numbers of gold refer to the amount of actually pure gold in there. So 10 karat gold has less pure gold, that's why it's less expensive. So it's 10 24s, 14 24s, and so on. So 10, 14, 18, 19 a little bit you're seeing now in 24. And in some of the Middle Eastern countries, you see 22 karat. As you get above 18 karat, though, because pure gold is yellow, you don't see 22 karat white gold. 22 karat white gold is actually rhodium plated, or a metal that's plated over top of yellow gold to make it look white.
Okay.
Same thing with pure. You'll never see 24 karat pure white gold, because as you watch all the programs on TV and they're digging gold out of the ground, it's bright yellow. It's never white. It's never any other color. It's always that. So that's the differences in what you're seeing as far as 10, 14, 18, and 24.
If I'm just at home, and I'm not me, I'm somebody else, and I'm watching me on TV, does that make sense? Nevertheless, if I wanted to get into the jewelry business, what would be the first step?
Wow. When you look at the jewelry industry as a whole, you can literally do as much of it as you want, or you can specialize in one particular thing if you want. And right now, you can get into the jewelry industry by learning 3D programming. When we're talking about technology, you don't have to really have too much experience in jewelry as a whole to actually design a piece of jewelry. You can draw it on a piece of paper and you can take it to somebody else who can make it. And you can call yourself a jewelry designer.
Draw it up.
It happens every single day. Somebody comes in, here's my little stick drawing that I drew. can you make this for me? They bring it to somebody like me. Then you can go the step further and you can say, okay, fine. All I want to do is I want to set stones all day long. So somebody's going to hand me a ring that has a bunch of holes in it or whatever, or no holes in it. I have to drill all the holes, set all the stones in it. That person just does setting. They're a stone setter. That's all they do all day long. They set stones all day long. Somebody else just does repairs. They fix jewelry. So they're taking people's jewelry, cleaning it, fixing it, repolishing it, handing it back to them. But in the jewelry industry, you can do lots of different things. I got started off, I sat down, and I did repairs first. And then as you learn repairs, you kind of see why things happen and why they break, and then you learn how to fix them. And then when you learn how to fix them, then you kind of learn about stones and how soft some of them are, and you can't do certain things with them, or they don't take heat. So that's kind of all part of it. You can learn by coming in and working in a store like ours and sit down at the bench, and I can teach you how to do all that. That's the way that I did it. I was taught by a third-generation goldsmith. You can go to Wayne State. You can go to U of M. I've hired people that have graduated from both of those. CCS is a perfect school right here in Detroit. And they can teach you how to do jewelry design, and you can learn that, and then you can go into the world and practically use your applications for it. You can do computer design. You can learn that at home, sitting, in front of the TV all day long. I kind of learned a couple of the programs myself that way.
Wow.
So you can get into the jewelry industry a lot of different ways. If you wanted to say, okay, fine, I want to open a jewelry store, just be prepared to take an awful lot of money and make a little bit of profit over a long period of time. Because most of the time people don't come in and say, oh, I want to buy a piece of jewelry, and you have, I got one ring in my showcase because that's all I can afford to open my store with is one piece of jewelry. You have to have a lot of variety.
Got it.
And so from that standpoint, if you're going to open a store, it takes a lot of money to do that. Showcases, security, lighting, safes, all the rest of that stuff. But you don't have to be a store owner. You can do jewelry design and do art fairs, which we do art fairs. You can do jewelry design and be on the web. So it's all in what you want it to be.
Final question. Todd, if you had to battle a giant, what weapon of choice would you use?
Wow. Is the giant going to be female or male?
You pick, you decide.
Well, she's going to be female, and her name's Natalie. I would probably pick a diamond ring like this, because this would soothe even the wildest beast's nerves.
It's true.
Okay. Any other giant that I've seen on the planet, like Godzilla or any of them, I would have to pick either one of my ex-wives' mothers. They both could battle the heck out of anybody and beat me to death most of the time, so I would probably vote for that.
Okay. All right. Let people know where they can find more information out about your jewelry store, Todd.
We're located online at www.facettsoftoddmichael.com. We're located in the historic Fisher Building on the main floor, and our phone number is 313-871-0030. And we look forward to helping you any way that we can, even if it's battling a giant.
You know what? We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Carmen. Welcome to Joy Shoes, where we are more than just shoes.
Whether it's high heels, wedges, pumps, or just a really nice dress, we cater to the needs of fashionable, fun-loving, budget-conscious ladies. We are conveniently located at 29538 Northwestern Highway in Southfield near 12 Mile. Call 248-356-SHOE. Ask about our First Lady special.
Yo, let's get busy, Detroit. I'm Kemarr Brooks, the host of Entrepreneurs of Detroit. Today I'm sitting here with Elizabeth Bacon. We're inside the Stella coffee shop in the Fisher Building. What's going on, Elizabeth? How you feel?
Hey, doing pretty well.
Had a good work day?
Yep, it was a good morning.
That's
Good Friday morning.
All right, right off the bat, if I was a new customer, because I don't know anything about coffee,
Sure.
what would you recommend that I drink?
So a lot of people come in and they're accustomed to Starbucks maybe, so we try to just figure out what your familiarity with coffee is, what you tend to like to drink. There are a lot of people who are just, just give me regular coffee kind of drinkers. There are a lot of people who are into the caramel macchiato frappuccino kind of thing. And so we just try to find what you're familiar with and then work from there. If you like just plain coffee, our Tornado blend is really popular.
I was going to ask about that. I seen a sign out there that said Tornado blend. So explain that to me. It's like a tornado and a hurricane blend, or just...
It's like a tornado and a cup of coffee.
What makes it a tornado blend?
It's our most caffeinated cup of coffee and also the darkest, boldest blend. So if you're really looking for something, as the owner's son said, it picks you up, spins you around, and shoots you 12 miles down the road.
When people say they want their coffee decaffeinated,
yes,
like doesn't that like defeat the purpose of coffee drinking?
Not at all, because a lot of the the thing about coffee is the taste and the experience of having the warm drink, especially when it comes to like a vanilla latte, let's say. There's a lot going into it besides just the coffee. And so somebody who maybe caffeine just doesn't feel right on their body, they get a decaf vanilla latte, and then they're still able to have that really nice experience, but don't get so jazzed up.
All right, Elizabeth, can you explain the different names of the coffee? Like you got the lattes and the Americanos and the
macchiato.
Yeah, explain what's the different names.
So there are a range of espresso drinks you can make, which is basically the espresso is the concentrated, it's only several ounces of coffee that are made out of quick extraction on the high-power espresso machines.
Oh.
So you've got an Americano, which is when you take that espresso and you pour it over hot water. It's called an Americano because when Americans were over in Europe and they were trying to drink coffee, they were being served espresso and they wanted coffee. So then, all the Europeans started pouring it on water to water it down for, the Americans who were accustomed to a certain taste. And so now people come to appreciate an Americano as a really standard espresso drink that they get at high-quality coffee shops. And it really allows you to kind of get the taste of the espresso. And then a latte is espresso made with steamed milk. So, you have a large amount of steamed milk with just a little bit of microfoam at the top. Yep. And that's what allows you to pour all the nice artwork in the top of the drink.
Okay.
And
then the whipped cream and the...
No whipped cream. It's all the artwork is done just in the pouring of the drink.
Oh, okay.
So you put the espresso in a cup.
Like
with that little fern.
Okay, that's what it is. Like the little heart or something.
Mm-hmm. Hearts, ferns, all that stuff.
It's called a fern. Oh, so
a
many big
Rosetta,
words.
Actually.
Oh. Rosetta, folks.
And all of our coffee actually is brewed to order. So instead of having a large urn of coffee just sitting there, depending on the time of day, it could be sitting there for 2 hours. You don't know how long ago it was that they brewed the coffee.
When the coffee's been sitting there for a long time, does it lose its kick? Or
I wouldn't. The caffeine level's probably the same, but at this point, not everyone drinks coffee just for the caffeine. They actually drink it for the taste. And what happens when it sits in the urn is it drops in temperature, which a lot of people don't like. They want their coffee hot, so when they add their cream and their sugar melts and all that stuff, it'll last you a while in temperature. But then also, I think the flavor degrades after a while, just sitting in a big pot.
Yeah.
If you let your coffee sit on the counter for a while, it doesn't taste the same as when you first started it, right? Yeah. So what we do instead of brewing large batches is every cup is brewed to order in our pour-over method. So we start with just enough grounds for that individual cup of coffee, and then use a special kettle to pour the hot water over. And then each brew gets this little bloom, it's called, which is when the coffee kind of rises and gets all bubbly looking, and so it really allows for the full extraction of all the flavors of the coffee.
So who delivers the coffee? Like the coffee beans, or is it like different types of beans? Like
our roaster is Cadillac. They're a local company. A lot of people are familiar with them, and they roast. We have a special kind of section with them, and we have our own beans that they roast for us. So we have a Stella house blend, we have a Tornado, a French roast, a hazelnut cream, vanilla cream, Cycler's breakfast choice.
That's what's up.
Yep, and then they crafted a special espresso blend for this location specifically. So that was pretty nice.
Last question, where can people find more information out about Stella Coffee?
We have a Facebook page. That would probably be the best way to find us. Yep.
Everybody's on Facebook. So
everybody's on there, and it's kind of fun to interact with, and it's easy for us to keep people updated on what's going on, send them pictures and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. What I said, that was the last question, but final question. Can you make me a coffee? Can I get a caramel mocha to go?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
I'll draw you a little heart on there, too.
I want the heart. Hey, Elizabeth Bacon. We're in the Stella Coffee Shop. Kemarr Brooks, Entrepreneurs of Detroit. That was a very good show we had today. For more information about Entrepreneurs of Detroit and how to be a guest, make sure you check us out on the web at www.osomanonline.com. And don't forget to friend me on Facebook at Kemarr Rondre Brooks.